Welcome to my channel. The Rise of Donald Trump from Queens to the White House. A 10-part biographical story. The Night America Changed. It was the night of November 8, 2016, when the world watched history being rewritten. At the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, a red wave of cheering supporters chanted, "USA!" On every TV screen across the nation, maps turned red. Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. States once thought unreachable for a political outsider. Donald John Trump, a billionaire businessman and television star, had just been elected the 45th President of the United States. In the crowd were his family, Melania, Ivanka, Don Jr., Eric, Tiffany, and little Barron. As Trump took the stage, he said, "I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans." For some, it was a victory for forgotten voices. For others, a shocking moment that challenged every political norm. But this moment didn't happen overnight. It was the result of a lifetime defined by ambition, risk, and an unshakable belief in winning. Roots in Queens. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City, the fourth of 5 children of Fred and Mary Ann Trump. His father, Fred Trump, was a hard-working real estate developer who built thousands of affordable homes across Brooklyn and Queens. Fred Trump was strict, disciplined, and business-minded. He often told his son, "You're a killer, you're a king. Don't ever let anyone push you around." His mother, Mary Ann McClellan Trump, was a Scottish immigrant, elegant, soft-spoken, and proud of her son's boldness. As a boy, Donald was energetic and rebellious. At 13, after frequent trouble in school, his parents sent him to New York Military Academy. There he learned discipline, competition, and leadership. He rose to the top ranks and excelled in sports, showing early signs of his drive to dominate. Later, he attended Fordham University, then transferred to the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania, graduating in 1968 with a degree in economics. Unlike many classmates, he wasn't drawn to Wall Street. He wanted something more visible: real estate. After graduation, Trump joined his father's company, Elizabeth Trump and Son, which managed middle-class apartments in Brooklyn and Queens. But young Donald had a different dream: Manhattan. He wanted skyscrapers, fame, and glamour. In 1971, he moved to a Manhattan apartment and renamed the company the Trump Organization. His first big success came in 1978 with the Commodore Hotel deal. Trump convinced the city to give him tax breaks and partnered with Hyatt to transform the failing property into the Grand Hyatt Hotel. When it opened in 1980, it was an instant success and made Trump a rising star in New York real estate. Then came Trump Tower, his crown jewel. Opened in 1983 on Fifth Avenue, it was a monument to luxury, covered in bronze glass and lined with marble and gold. Trump's penthouse inside became legendary for its opulence. By the mid-1980s, his empire stretched across hotels, casinos, golf courses, and even an airline. His name became a brand. Trump meant success. But behind the shine, his empire was built on massive loans and high risks. The celebrity era. The 1990s brought challenges. The economy slumped, his casinos struggled, and Trump found himself nearly $900 million in debt. He sold his yacht, his airline, and restructured his businesses. Critics said he was finished, but Trump turned bankruptcy into a comeback story. Then came television. In 2004, NBC's The Apprentice premiered, starring Donald Trump as the tough-talking businessman whose catchphrase, "You're fired," became a national sensation. The show turned him into a cultural icon. Americans saw him as a symbol of authority, power, and success. His confidence, charisma, and larger-than-life image dominated screens. He became the brand himself, not just a businessman, but a celebrity mogul. By 2010, his name was on everything: towers, golf courses, ties, steaks, even a university. And quietly, a new ambition began to grow. Politically. The political awakening. Donald Trump had flirted with politics before. He'd spoken about running in the 1980s and even in 2000. But in 2015, when America was divided over immigration, trade, and globalization, Trump saw his moment. On June 16, 2015, he descended the golden escalator of Trump Tower with Melania by his side and announced, "I am officially running for President of the United States, and we're going to make our country great again." The crowd cheered. The media laughed. But his message, "Make America Great Again," struck a nerve. He attacked the political establishment, criticized trade deals, and promised to put America first. His blunt, unfiltered style broke every political rule, yet millions of voters loved it. By early 2016, he had crushed 16 Republican rivals, including governors and senators. Trump was no longer a celebrity, he was a political movement. The 2016 election shock. The election was one of the most divisive in modern history. Trump faced Hillary Clinton, a political veteran with decades of experience. Almost every poll predicted her victory. But Trump campaigned tirelessly, holding massive rallies across the Rust Belt, promising to bring back jobs, rebuild factories, and drain the swamp. He used Twitter as his weapon, bypassing traditional media and speaking directly to millions. Critics called him dangerous. Supporters called him authentic. On election night, the world watched as Pennsylvania turned red, then Wisconsin, then Michigan. Trump had done the impossible. He won 304 electoral votes and became the 45th President of the United States. The outsider had conquered Washington. The Trump presidency. Trump entered the White House in January 2017, promising to return power to the people. His presidency was unlike any other, chaotic, bold, and constantly in the spotlight. He cut taxes, rolled back regulations, and appointed 3 Supreme Court justices. He withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, renegotiated NAFTA as USMCA, and pursued an America First foreign policy. Supporters praised him for his strength and results. Opponents accused him of dividing the nation and undermining democratic norms. His use of Twitter to announce policies or criticize opponents was unprecedented. He faced protests, controversies, and investigations, but his base remained fiercely loyal. Impeachment and challenges. In 2019, Trump faced impeachment over allegations related to Ukraine. The House of Representatives charged him, but the Senate acquitted him, making him the 3rd president in U.S. history to survive impeachment. Then came 2020, a year that changed everything. The COVID-19 pandemic struck, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans and devastating the economy. Trump's handling of the crisis drew both praise and fierce criticism. That same year, mass protests erupted over racial injustice, and the election became a battle for America's soul. Despite record voter turnout, Trump lost to Joe Biden. Yet millions of his supporters believed the election was unfair, leading to a storming of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, a dark day in American history. Life after the White House. After leaving office, Trump moved to his beloved Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. But retirement wasn't in his vocabulary. He continued to hold rallies, endorse candidates, and hint at a comeback. Social media bans couldn't silence him. He launched Truth Social, his own platform. Investigations and lawsuits followed, but Trump used every challenge to rally his supporters, presenting himself as a fighter against a corrupt system. In 2024, he once again announced his campaign for president, aiming for an unprecedented political comeback. Millions of Americans still wear red hats with the words, "Make America Great Again," proof that his movement lives on. Legacy of a controversial icon. Donald Trump's story is one of contradictions, wealth and struggle, charisma and controversy, success and scandal. To his supporters, he's a patriot who spoke hard truths and defended forgotten Americans. To his critics, he's a symbol of division and chaos. But whether loved or hated, he changed American politics forever. He proved that an outsider, a businessman with no political experience, could rise to the most powerful office in the world. He taught the world that media, fame, and narrative could redefine power itself. From the boy in Queens who wanted to win, to the man who shocked the world, Donald J. Trump's journey remains one of the most remarkable and polarizing in modern history. As he once said, quote, "In the end, you're measured not by what you have, but by the impact you've made," unquote. And in that sense, Donald Trump's impact is undeniable.